I have accepted that she is my biological grandmother. After everything I've heard about my mother, about the years of suffering they went through, I no longer doubt our blood relationship. However, many questions remain unanswered. Too many secrets have been hidden for years. I fear that what I know today isn't the whole truth. Perhaps because I've been hurt before, I don't want to be disappointed again. Therefore, I've made a decision that many might consider drastic. I need a final answer to be able to move forward with peace of mind. If the truth is fully revealed, I will no longer have to live with the doubts and guilt I've felt for so many years.
Hello, it's me. I need your help with something. Starting tomorrow, keep an eye on my grandmother. Don't show yourself to her, and don't let her know someone is watching her. I will pay you what you deserve. Okay, I'll give her a fitting outcome. I hope I won't be deceived again this time.
Even though she had accepted that the woman was her biological grandmother, nhat couldn't completely shake off her doubts. The secrets had been revealed too late. Years of misunderstanding and hurt had made it difficult for her to trust anyone completely. Some nights, nhat told herself she should open up to her grandmother, but then the unanswered questions would resurface, tearing her heart apart again. One weekend morning, nhat decided to take Henry to visit his grandmother. The boy was incredibly excited to meet his mother's relatives. Throughout the journey, Henry kept talking about things he wanted to tell her. Looking at her son's innocent smile, nhat only smiled slightly, but her heart was filled with countless thoughts. As soon as she saw the two of them at the gate, her grandmother rushed out to greet them. Her face lit up when Henry politely ran to hug her. She held the boy's hand tightly, as if afraid that happiness would slip away once again. In the small house, Henry's laughter quickly filled the space that had been lonely for so many years. But while everyone was enjoying the reunion, nhat silently observed her grandmother's every move. She noticed how her grandmother looked at the old photo on the wall whenever she mentioned her mother. She quietly watched her grandmother's eyes whenever the conversation inadvertently touched upon the past. Sometimes her grandmother smiled gently, but at other times her eyes suddenly became sad, as if trying to hide some pain. The more she observed, the heavier nhat felt in her heart. Part of her wanted to believe that her grandmother was telling the truth. She wanted to believe that the old woman before her was simply a grandmother trying to make up for the family's losses. But the other part remained constantly wary. Because after everything that had happened, nhat didn't want to face any more painful truths. While nhat was still trying to uncover the truth about her family's past, another unexpected event struck. Not far away, Alex was experiencing the worst hours of his life. Sitting listlessly by the roadside, Alex clutched a crumpled stack of promissory notes in his hand. The numbers flashed before him like an endless nightmare. His business had failed, debts were piling up, and his account was nearly empty. In a short time, everything he had painstakingly built had collapsed. People hurried past, but no one noticed the man slumped over in the street. Alex lowered his head, his shoulders trembling with despair. Silent tears fell onto the crumpled promissory notes in his hand. For the first time in years, he felt utterly helpless. Images of nhat and Henry flashed through Alex's mind. He remembered the promises of a stable life, of a happy future he had confidently promised his family. But now, all that remained was a feeling of failure and guilt. Alex covered his face with his hands, trying to suppress the sobs rising in his throat. He didn't know how to tell nhat. He didn't know how his family would get through this. Amidst the crowd, Alex felt more alone than ever, as if the whole world had abandoned him, along with his debts and shattered dreams. When Alex returned home, a heavy atmosphere permeated every corner. He entered with red eyes, his face weary and despairing. Despite trying to remain calm, nhat sensed something was wrong. Just seeing the crumpled papers in her husband's hand and his empty gaze, she understood that the situation was far more serious than she had imagined. He didn't dare look his wife in the eye. His voice trembled as he recounted the debts, the series of failures, and their current predicament. Each word felt like a stab to the pride of a man who always wanted to be the pillar of his family. nhat listened in silence. Not a word of reproach, not a question of why. She simply gazed at the man before her, the man who had weathered so many storms with her, the man who had always been there for her during her loneliest days. She slowly rose and went into the bedroom. A moment later, nhat returned with a small box that had been kept hidden for a long time. Inside was all the money she had secretly saved over the years. It was the money she had intended for Henry's future, for the family's unfinished plans. Without hesitation, she placed the box in front of Alex. Alex looked up, his eyes filled with astonishment. nhat gently took his trembling hand. In that moment, all words seemed unnecessary. Alex looked at the money before him, then at the woman he loved. His throat tightened. He tried to say something, but couldn't utter a word. The tears he had held back all day finally burst forth. He wept, not because of the money, but because of nhat's presence. Because even during the worst moments of his life, when he felt most like a failure and useless, she didn't turn her back on him. Alex held nhat tightly, as if afraid she would disappear. He remembered the difficult times they had overcome together. He remembered nhat's suffering over the past, the nights she cried because of her feelings of abandonment. Yet today, she was the one who stayed by his side when everything was falling apart. Tears streamed down Alex's face. For the first time after hours of despair, he felt he wasn't alone. nhat couldn't hold back her tears either. She rested her head on her husband's shoulder, feeling the tremor in his breath. She still had many worries. She didn't know what the future held. She didn't know if those debts could be settled. But one thing she was certain of: family isn't just about being together during happy times. Family is even when the whole world seems to be turning its back on you, there's still someone who holds your hand and says they won't leave.